The mission today is to sharpen your swords and get you ready for battle. It's time to fine-tune your craft and make you the best in what you do. The mission is to equip you to help anyone purchase what they need. We'll share the best advice from the best in their industry. You'll be listening to a conversation you wish you had with the mentors you wish you had. Take what makes sense to you and makes you better in your career. You guys, Bruce Lee said it best. Absorb what is useful and discard what is not.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Commission Mission. Today we have Milan Topolovec. There's all kinds of reasons why you should listen to this guy, why you should read his books. 10 people you meet in business, Beyond the Tipping Point, successful financial planner and TK Financial Group, speaker, all around great guy. Milan, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Welcome, everybody.
Yes. So even though this is the book I've been reading recently, and I love it because it really is an easy read. The chapters can be taken out of order. You don't have to read it sequentially. Each chapter is its own bit of advice in itself. But no, I really appreciate that. I appreciate you coming on today. I want to go over some of the stuff that I got out of it. And a lot of times certain words will jump out at me. And there's one chapter, the gentleman by the last name of Mann, David Mann. And it mentions the word being trustworthy, so trustworthiness, right? And when you are in sales, if you don't have somebody's trust, you probably don't have their business. How easy it is to build, how hard it is to build and easy it is to lose. So especially, the financial services industry is what we have in common. Even more so, it's not like, it's not as transactional as maybe selling a product, selling a car. Most of the time, the relationships we build with our clients are hopefully for a lifetime. So, the importance of being trustworthy, doing what you say. Give me your thoughts.
Well, being trustworthy is clearly a starting point. Doing what you say and when you say you're going to do it is the key. So I'm a connector, a big connector. I've had people get surgeries. I've had people buy cars. I've had people sell bomb suits in Europe through my connections. But when a client asks me for something or I see an opportunity to connect two clients, I do it right now. People get blown away because they go, whoa, that was quick. Well, I get it done. That way I don't forget it. So trustworthy is key. So when clients also call me for people that I should introduce to them, clearly they're going to be top notch. They trust me that I've already vetted that person and made sure that person is top notch. So that's the other part.
Yeah. And think of all the value that you've given in people's lives just because you knew the right who. Right? You knew the right person to put them in touch with. And when it comes to that, that's a referral, right? And whether it's a referral for direct business or just a referral to get another service done that completely different than what you do, that person is borrowing trust just for a second. And they say, hey, listen, if Milan said that you're worth it and you're good at what you do and you're trustworthy, I'm going to take his word for it until you can prove it yourself to me, or at least just don't disprove it. So that reminds me of the most I've gotten out of any business strategy is very similar to that. So everybody should have a team of successful, competent professionals around in their life, right? They should have a financial planner. They should have their lawyer. They should have their accountant. They should have their doctor, right? Everybody that knows you and your situation, you trust them. But also, I'll partner a lot with other people in peripheral industry. So let's say I also do homeowners insurance, right? Mm-hmm. And if you have a team of successful realtors to refer you their business to you. That's better than any billboard, in my opinion. When you talk about, Medicare, I work in Medicare, partnering with doctors' offices so that they don't have to tell their patients, well, good luck, just figure it out, go on the internet, put your information out there so you get harassed on the phone about it. Yeah. They say there's a local guy's been doing it for a decade. He's trustworthy. Give him a call. The most success that I found is using that sort of strategy and being known.
The book I wrote, this one here, Beyond the Tipping Point, anybody can take this book and create a structure, what you just spoke about. Eric, the structure is putting the pieces together. If you can think of it, people say, what are you? I'm a financial architect. I don't need to know every aspect of estate planning or insurance planning. Insurance is my core. That's where I started, and I've expanded it to estate planning. But I need to know who you need to talk to.
That's right.
If you have a U.S. issue, in Canada, we have a lot of people, especially in Ottawa, that have dual citizenship. Many of them don't realize about U.S. estate tax. Even if your mother was born in the States and you're born in Canada, you have to file in U.S. IRS is going to be all over you.
Yeah.
So the idea of providing additional value is always the key. But this book talks about putting a team together. And you can take it. Any advisor in any business can do it. And take this book, and I'm not promoting the book. I'm promoting the ideas that are in here. You can create your own team. Teams win, individuals don't.
That's right, because you may be having a bad month, but your whole team isn't. Right?
That's right. Somebody's going to call you for something. And I've even during the pandemic, I've given so much value to my client base. What do you want? Oh, I need windows and doors. Well, here's the manufacturer, client of ours. Boom, give Sammy a call. Sam, by the way, this guy's going to call you. I do that on a regular basis.
That's right. And so much business is done that way. And honestly, if you ask yourself, wouldn't you rather have that warm introduction to your whatever need that you have instead of just blankly going on the internet, trying to do some research, hoping the reviews you're reading are authentic and not paid for, just having people that exactly. But if you do it that way, I know you and you know them, and that's a much more comfortable transition. Staying kind of high level for a second and just talking about why go into sales and why go into business, that it takes a certain type of person, right? There are people that do need that structure. They do need someone looking over their shoulder. They do need that 9 to 5. And I appreciate those people because they serve a very important piece of society, right? But if you are, and there was a certain level of security in that same chapter with David Mann that he was talking about, and I would agree. But really, if you want to control your own destiny, you can't be that person. You have a superior that makes the decisions for you. And if some unforeseen circumstance comes along, a pandemic, you're fired. That's outside of your control. When I say it is better to be good at what you do and be an all-around badass, and whether you're in sales or running a great business, now you're in control of your destiny. So, the opportunities that are out there, especially in our countries, that all you have to do is be brave enough to reach out and grab and really control your life. I think if you're not the 9 to 5 type of person, you owe it to yourself to get out there and get started. Start swimming.
Funny, I wrote a LinkedIn post today about that.
There you go.
Basically, is you have a choice. You can sit on your hands and hope the pandemic and everything else goes away.
Yeah.
And clearly we know that's not going to happen, that all of a sudden, miraculously, the world's going to come to a better place. Or you can say, listen, I'm going to outwork your butt. You can't outwork me. That's know right. That you're not going to do.
Yeah.
So the idea is, what can I do today? Even the small steps to be better at serving. So again, it's not selling, it's serving, because you really are. I've delivered $5 million checks on claims. You really get to know what your job is when you start doing that in the insurance business.
That's right. I had, originally I was going through college and I wanted to be a stockbroker. I was so exciting. I wanted to be down on that floor making people money, yelling buy, sell, throwing the tickets. And then my favorite professor told me, you don't start off up there. You have to work your way up there. Find a company that does that and work your way up. So I started with a company that just wanted me to do life insurance. Well, I had, I think it was my third policy I ever sold. Within 6 months, I had a death claim. And helping that family through that process made me realize that I wanted to work with individuals. That it was so much more rewarding doing that. But, when you're in business, I forget exactly how it was said, but it was basically you have to get off the side of the pool and just put yourself out there and start swimming, right? You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Just get out there and get started, and you may have to figure out some details once you get started, but it takes certain bravery. Fortune favors the bold, just to get out there and get started. Because otherwise, you're working that 9 to 5, you're trying to get those promotions, and maybe if you stick around long enough, you get one. But the problem is with that sort of structure, as you get higher and higher in the pyramid, there's less and less promotions to be handed out. If you're watching this show, that's not for you. That's not life. That's not what you're trying to hope for, that 50-cent raise.
One of the things I'd like to make a point, don't create a business for yourself to give yourself a job. Go drive a bus. You're better off doing that. You can leave at the end of the day, end of your shift, and go home and not worry about the tires.
There you go.
Owning a business is a separate story. It is a 24-hour-a-day job. I remember a long time ago reading books where they would show you a pie chart, financial, spiritual, all the rest, how an even balance. It's never an even balance. However, owning a business has its gratitude that you're going to get, that sometimes just being on a regular job, you may not.
Yeah, it really is 24/7. But, and when it comes to commission sales and run your own business, you'll always get sold the point, hey, you can work whenever you want. Well, I end up working 60, 70 hours anyways, right? But you're right, it is when I want, but I'm compensating the middle of the day because I'm spending it with my kids for at the end of the evening after I put them to sleep, I'm popping open the laptop and I'm preparing, and sending out emails and doing the admin stuff until it's time to go to sleep and rise and grind and get it going again. So it is a little bit of a different kind of thing. But you do not want to be complacent. You cannot just be happy with where you're at. You always have to be striving to get a little bit better every day, because otherwise someone's out there going to eat your lunch and take your business.
Yeah. And one of the things about sales that some people may not realize, statistics say in the United States, which we're very close to as friends and neighbors, 80% of the highest income earners are salespeople. Mm-hmm.
And that is what created the middle class. We don't have to do a history lesson, but before, when there was the upper class, and then there was farmers, it was the merchants. It was that really started to gain wealth that you may have not been born into it.
Yeah. Which is the case for me, that's for sure.
That's right. You had that ambition, you had that drive, and what a waste it would have been if you were managing a Walmart somewhere.
I could probably do it. I have the education and training. I'd want to be the best Walmart manager I ever could be.
Yeah,
that would be the difference. It's like somebody said, if you're going to be a garbage man, be the best garbage man that you can find.
And that's what I mean. Nothing against anybody who works the 9 to 5 life. So, in working your business, when you're setting out and doing it, and whether you are running your own business or if you're working commissions for another established business, it was Luzita, am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
That talked about kind of the crossroads of either just staying true to yourself and going back and looking at your original vision, and you stay in, you have to stay who you really are, but at the same time, you do have to adapt to what life throws at you, all the curveballs that you weren't expecting, but don't let that take you away from yourself, and that's why you can feel it in the book, and you feel it obviously when you speak with you, that your heart's in the right place. And I think that we have that in common. So now that you run your business, I know you have a 1,000 tricks of the trade to give us. I mean, anything that jumped out that can help people today get a little bit further out of their day.
Perfect. Here's a number one: get a planner. I use a focus planner daily. And weekly. So during the pandemic, it really helped me out, because prior to pandemic, I was seeing 6, 7 different people a day. Well, during the pandemic, you weren't seeing people. You were 3 or 4 Zoom calls, which are exhausting. But I had a planner, and I still do. It's called Full Focus Planner. Every day, what are the 3 most important things you have to do? Yours was one of them. My first one was this morning at 9 o'clock as well. Was a call with my business coach. I have a business coach. So throughout the day, you write your own, what do you want to do? But typically try to do it the night before, so you can sleep well, you wake up, you have a game plan. The problem is many people don't have a game plan. It's like, let's see what happens today. What do you think you get? Nothing. Who do I need to talk to today? Who should I reach out? It's amazing. Number one. Number two, there are 3 ways of reaching out to people: text, email, and a phone call. Too many books are being written how to not to do, don't call people. Are you nuts? I'm probably the best on a phone call. Can I write an email? Yeah. Can I write a text? Yeah. However, with phone calls, I can give me any objection you want, anything. My brother-in-law's in the business. It's too much money. Blah, blah. I can come with a rebuttal because I've done it a million times. I've made thousands of phone calls. That's how I established myself in the city, introducing myself to people. And it wasn't selling. It was just, hey, will you meet with me? Oh, I'm my brother in a business. Hey, maybe you don't want your brother knowing everything about your financial affairs. Would you like a second opinion?
A second set of eyes on this, that it can't hurt.
Highland Finance, helping you prepare for life. IRS takes your money, stock market risks your money, and inflation reduces the buying power. At Highland Finance, we believe you should feel confident in your future. Our proven track record helps our clients prepare for life. Call 850-359-5989.
So while we're on the topic of phone calls, I've had coworkers, and even a little bit, with myself early on. What is your perspective when you're making those phone calls? I know some people get caught up thinking, well, what if this? What if that? What if I'm catching them at a bad time? What if they get mad at me? I end up kind of tricking myself and saying, I get to make a new friend today. I get to call them, introduce myself, and who knows what's going to happen. It's kind of exciting, right? What's your perspective when you're making all those phone calls?
Well, perspective is have a plan in mind and don't overthink it.
All right.
On a phone call, your main objective is to get an appointment with that individual.
Yep.
You're not selling. All you're asking is, listen, let's meet. Let's have a coffee, see if we're fit to work together. That's
keep it comfortable, keep it light, and keep it simple. That is what you're trying to do.
Because there's too much of that. People say, well, our company does this. The guy's already shut you off.
Right.
What did they say? Most human beings have a shorter attention span than a goldfish, 7 seconds. So if I go on about telling you why you should meet me, you're
going to lose them.
It's like they gloss over and they're going like, please get this person off the phone. Yeah. No. Hey, I'd love to meet you. We know people in common. I work with people like you. Between my case, I have over 800 clients. They're all business owners and professionals of different sorts. And I'm a connector. People that know me, they know I get them business. It's not purely just my core business, what I do. But somebody said to me the other day, Milan, connecting is your core business because you do it every day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the thought I had when you were talking about being a connector is the old saying, jack of all trades, master of none, sort of thing, that you can't know everything about every aspect of your life. Stay in your lane and know what you do and be good at that. But you can't be an expert at everything. So that's why you have that team around you. And hopefully you can send business their way when it comes up in conversation.
And I do all the time.
Yeah, it's beneficial to work with you, Milan. So definitely staying focused, make those phone calls, and then as you are either working your day, or maybe we could speak about prospecting, we could talk about marketing.
One of the things that I do is, in the past, I used to take it personally when a client would not answer calls, and it's hard because we're all people. So today, what we do now is, if I call you today, whether you're my client or a referral to me, I will leave you a message for 7 days. We'll do that 3 times. If you don't respond, the final message, clearly you are super busy or you're not interested at this point in time. Rather than be a follow-up pest, I will leave it now up to you.
The ball's in your court.
That's right. It's amazing how many people come back to us and say, hey, no, I need this.
Yeah.
But no pressure, because you know what? I was talking to my coach about this. It took me a long time to realize that I'm not responsible for people's well-being.
That's right.
I'm responsible if they engage. I want to make sure that they're top of, they've got their trust, all that rest of the stuff done, and they do get it. But if they decide not to, like a client, person we're working on recently, didn't get disability, didn't get critical, didn't get life in time. But guess what? He's in a hospital now, donating a kidney to his mother. What are the chances of securing that coverage right now?
Zero. Right. When he should have called you back
6 months ago, and numerous phone calls, numerous emails. And finally I just said, hey man, no problem. I'm good. I have enough other stuff to do and work with people that you want. So the key factor is in sales, choosing the right type of client you want to serve. It's not sell, serve. It really is serve. So my clients are basically business owners and professionals, lots of family businesses. My other company, Inner Orbis Inc., is a consulting firm where client will say, listen, I've got some issues with my daughter. Would you be interested in helping us? Absolutely. Where we both all sit down, create a plan, work through the plan. So I've trained myself in certain things. I'm not a generalist. I don't do investments. Can I introduce you to top-notch investment people? Absolutely, and I do. So whether you're in discretionary money, it's this person. If you're in mutual funds, it's this person. So basically again, I'm like a traffic police officer. Go over here, and that really helps clients.
Yeah. Just on the point of kind of the follow-up, and you don't want to be a pest, especially if it ends up being the I'm not interested at this moment sort of situation. I will say, hey, is it okay if I reach out a year from now, either phone call or email? No one has ever said no, but they will be surprised sometimes when it's worth a phone call. It pops up in your planner and it's worth a phone call. Oh yeah, let's follow up, see if they're ready now. And sometimes people will be surprised. Like, it's amazing that you remembered. I mean, I just put it in my planner a year ago, It is worth a follow-up if they give you permission. And like I said, they always do.
Something, Eric, that your listeners may also take advantage of, when you do follow up, say, Eric, last time we spoke on July 7th or whatever date, we talked about and you were busy. You said it was quite all right to call you back, and I'm calling you back. Can we have a coffee together? Yeah. So when you specify the date and time, possibly, it blows their mind out because they go, I must have said that. Yeah. He knows the date and time.
Yeah. I mean, when they, and I will keep, certain notes about a conversation they had, but when I do call them back a year later, they're like, Micah, I can't believe you remembered about my dog and his hip surgery, and they appreciate that about me. And that warms up the conversation. It makes it a little bit more comfortable. And then the other point I was going to make as far as, I just lost it. I'll have to go back and rewatch the episode and remember the point that I was trying to make. But it is important. Just about how in our industry, and a lot of times when you are in a consultative sort of position, that you don't have to work with everybody. If there is a type of person that comes across and they're rude, angry, short with you, you don't have to work with them. And so what ends up happening, I may say, hey, there's an associate of mine that, I'm booked for the next year and a half. Sorry. But there's an associate of mine that is available next week, and he's, very smart and talented. And it may be somebody that's a little bit newer, a little bit more hungry, wanting the business. But what ends up happening is that out of those 800 clients that you have, it ends up being people that you look forward to speaking to. They're awesome people. They're kind people that you want to stay in touch with, and you want to make sure as life changes, your strategy for them adjusts with it.
Sorry.
No, it's awesome.
I tell them, I said, listen, I got an advisor that's better suited to serve you. I don't go into you're too small, you're too this, you're a pain in the butt. No, I don't do that. I just say, listen, if you would like me to introduce you to an advisor, because if they're giving you grief from the start, you figure, okay, you're a salesperson. I can do this to this person. Their dog bit him, or you don't know what went on. Right. Well, I just say, no. You know what? This isn't working for me. Yeah. It's amazing. I did this for a person I've spent probably 40 hours recently. Yeah. And I just said to him, hey, I can introduce you to, oh, no, Milan, no. We got our emails crossed. I said, no problem. Let's have a next meeting with you and your accountant. But again, listen, life's too short. And it doesn't matter how good I am or how good I can provide you with advice or motivate you or put the pieces together, as I call it, puzzle pieces for you. Yeah. If you're not into me, it's not going to work.
And you're not going to take it personally.
Yeah. Like I introduce people not based only on their abilities, but also on personalities. Because if you introduce a person, like I've worked with accountants that were amazing. However, their personality, if you meet him for the first time, you would have thought, oh, he's a pain and he's arrogant. Yeah. And I would tell the client he's not arrogant. Yeah. Don't get that wrong. He's very good at what he does, and he's definitely not arrogant.
But if you do make the wrong connection, someone might look at you in a negative light. So that's deep. Also, not just the need, but the personality as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other day-to-day tips that you can give anybody for either staying organized or getting out there and prospecting, but marketing, make sure that people know you exist and what you do, which is also a pretty important thing.
And having mentors, it's huge. And people go, well, how can I get a mentor? I am blessed having the number of clients I have that I can get the time with any one of them. Multiple business owners that are clients.
All successful.
And I'll go, hey, let's go for a coffee to Bridgehead. Sure, meet you there. So the idea is create mentors. And the young people that are in business, they think, well, nobody wants to be a mentor. Yes, they do. Yeah. People that are successful
they want to give back.
Givers.
Right. Absolutely. And the other thing that you mentioned that is very common, a lot of successful Milan, is have a coach, which is different than a mentor. But that's something that I really need to look in for myself, that I'm learning right alongside all the viewers. And when you hear common threads from successful people, like having a coach, man, maybe there's something to it.
There is. The guy, I use Eric Deschamps in Rhapsody Strategies. And this morning, I acknowledged, I said, Eric, this took me 40 years to get to this level. And he's been working with me for 5 years, and we finally overcome a thing that was an obstacle. And it was just me, my view of things, and how, people not responding, and how I took it personally when they didn't follow my advice and something happened bad in their life where my advice would have helped them. Yeah. Well, it took me forever to say, okay, it's not your responsibility. I am here to show you. If you're not interested, that's cool.
And it was a coach that helped you change your perspective in that. And not only did business go better after that, but your quality of life went better after that. You didn't stay up at night, being so bothered by that anymore. not take it personally anymore. Well, yeah, so that's definitely something I need to work on. Well, Milan, while we're wrapping it up today, if people wanted to get in touch with you, definitely get 10 people you meet in business or beyond the tipping point, how can everybody get in touch with you?
My one email in the financial world is milan at tkfg.ca.
TK Financial Group, right?
And the other one is Milan T at INNERORBIS.ca.
The consulting.
That's my other company, and we're just in the process of redoing both of our webs, which I'm super excited about. But they can reach me there, or my number at the office is 613-728-7030, extension 223. You may just have a question. I answer my emails and, by the way, calls every day. I'm fanatical about that. I hate seeing on my iPhone a message.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way, and I appreciate how available you've made yourself, and I've gotten a lot out of the book, out of the conversations that we had. Milan, I really appreciate your time today, and I know everybody else that's going to be sitting and watching is going to get a lot out of listening to you as well.
Fabulous. I appreciate the opportunity, and the idea is always giving back.
That's right.
Hopefully that your viewers get ideas that they can use today, right now. Move on. And this is the other one that we talked about. I have a laminated card. It's not a business card. It's called Dominate. When I play professional football and sports, I always said to myself, what really turns my crank? When I dominate. And so I keep this in my pocket. And every time I touch it, I think of that. So if you have something that's very dear to you, whether it's a picture or something, get it laminated. Every time you touch, it reminds you, dominate. My vision of dominate is dominate, be the best I can be, and serve the clients the best I can.
And having that reminder brings you back to center, brings you back to focus, and multiple times a day. And it's not an expensive trick to do. It's pennies to laminate that thing.
Yeah, I learned it from a guy named Bob Proctor.
I've definitely heard of him. And who was the other book you said you were reading? Dan Sullivan. Yes.
It's a strategic coach, amazing guy.
Yeah.
Coaches people that are multi-millionaires and billionaires across the world.
Yeah.
It's called Who, Not How.
Yes. That's another.
Please get that book.
Please, yes. And that's going to be another point to push you a little bit further along in your career to get you better and better at what you do every day. Milan.
I listen to one book a week.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I used to drive a lot more than I do now, and audiobooks were where it was at. Yeah, Milan, I really appreciate your time today. And I'll definitely be reaching out and talking to you soon.
All right. Anytime you need anything, call me, and God blessing, and enjoy the sunshine. Bring it up to Canada.
or bring yourself down to Florida. Either way.
I will do. Will do.
Bye, Milan.
Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody, you cannot be the master of every subject that is important to you in your life. You have to have a team. And when you have a team and you're talking to a lot of different people, a lot of times throughout the conversation, chit-chatting, the other problems will get brought up. Use that and send business another direction to someone you trust, someone who's good at what they do, and you're showing even more value beyond what you do for a living. That is how you build a relationship. That is how you not just have a transactional one-time sale. Anytime that person needs that something, they're not going to start over on the internet looking for someone. They already have someone they know, like, and trust that sold it to them last time. So build that relationship. Send some business to somebody that you like and trust in another industry, and the law of reciprocity, they're going to send it to you back whenever the opportunity comes up. So build that network. That's what I've done, but also in a different way of if there's a particular product that if there's another industry that interacts with that, I gave the example of homeowners insurance and realtors, but you can also say, title companies. You can also talk about lenders. These are all people that are in work with the same clients but do different things, so you don't step on each other's toes. but build those relationships with them, make it beneficial for them to send you business because you handled it like an expert, and makes their life a little bit easier. So they're going to keep sending money to you. And the way Milan just expanded on that, it makes a lot of sense. Get the book. There are, for every chapter, there is a little bit of advice from people in Milan's world that he got out of it and made him the successful professional that he is today. So get those little bits of knowledge, get beyond the tipping point, and build that team, build that network, and you get your ball rolling that much faster, and you're going to get to the life that you're working for, that you deserve. So get out there, rise and grind every day and hustle, and before you know it, you're going to be where you want to be. Thanks everybody for tuning in and watching The Commission Mission with me. I'm Mike Anderson. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of The Commission Mission. I hope you got a lot out of it. We need you guys to like, follow, subscribe, whatever that action is for the platform that you're watching it on, and please leave a review. That's a great way of giving us a compliment.
And if you're listening to this show and you're interested in working with a great team in either the financial industry or real estate, Mike and I have opportunities available for people to join our team. You can find us at livingthatcommissionlife.com and go to the Join Us tab.
Highland Finance, helping you prepare for life. The profit your business brings in should go to you, not accidents, injuries, and hurricanes. Do a policy review on your general liability and workers' comp today. Our proven track record helps our clients prepare for life. Call 850-359-5989. Highland Finance.